This is my third time trying to record this, Libra. I would love to tell you that this transit is going to be harmless for you, but it won't. This is an activation day transit. I don't know if you've looked at the other signs yet, and you're welcome to. I always suggest that everyone looks at all the signs because there's information for all parts of you there. But Libra, you are the only sign with this activation day transit that has no actual placements in your chart. However, the MC is in your chart for this, and that in itself is phenomenal. The MC in any chart is where we aspire to be, and it's right at the first degrees, which is phenomenal. Again, the point that the moon is at 0, entering this activation, entering the sign of Sagittarius, it makes connections to the rest of the chart. And all the other personal planets that are at 1 degrees. Venus is at 1 degrees Capricorn, Mars at 1 degrees Taurus in trine, and the MC of this moment in this chart is, or the IC, depending on if you're looking at Eastern Standard Time or not. But the MC of this chart is in Libra in the first degrees. It's phenomenal. Everyone will be looking to you, Libra, because it is your balance and your ability to harmonize that really creates the outlook for the rest of this chart. Like I said, I plotted a lot of things in this chart. I plotted asteroids. I plotted lunar nodes. I plotted Black Moon Lilith apogee. I plotted all of the asteroids that I plotted are there because I looked up on an asteroid ephemeris, which is a book for gauging where planets and asteroids are. There's one online for asteroids, and I looked up all the asteroids and planets that would be at 1 degrees or 0 degrees. And the things that came out here. Whew. Okay, so for one, the asteroid for Lilith, who's very infamous in her own right, is right stuck with like Saturn and Jupiter, and at the beginning of Aquarius with Mercury. That's intense. So what does that mean? What is Lilith? Lilith is where we are antagonistic for our own autonomy, where we spit fire, so that we can have what we want. She's not necessarily your ego the way Mars is, your fire and your tap. She's more like the if Mars is your spark that sets the engine, she's the fact that there's an ignition light in the first place. Okay, she's the original masculine and feminine combined. She is right in the mix of what's going on in the beginning of Aquarius, perfectly timed because we need a new way, and it can't be anything we've seen before. It has to be something completely new. What does that mean? Well, what have we seen Lilith do in the past? Lilith creates a ripple in the wave so that you cannot be undone. Lilith is the sting of the bite. Lilith is the cold slap of truth. And she's going to be trining the air signs for this transit. So she's trining Gemini and she's trining Libra. She's with Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury in the beginning of Aquarius. This is your 5th house. This is your house of family and creativity and balance, of joy. This is where you find joy, is in that, strange, new, weird, out of the box way. That is really being highlighted now, Libra. You're really able to look at the way that you parent and the way that you are a child yourself, and merge those two things in a new lineage, in one that fits your personality and your autonomy and your path and the way you grow naturally and your mindset. This is about doing it specifically your way. And for you, Libra, it's a 5th house matter. So dive deep into your 5th house. That's what this transit's about for you. You will be activating the way that you love in a very humanitarian way. It's a beautiful thing, the way a Libra loves. There's nothing like it. You guys are ruled by Venus. And speaking of Venus, your ruler is in a grand trine with Mars and the asteroid Karma. The asteroid Karma is actually sitting in your 12th house. This is kind of a weird one for you. So Mars is sitting in 6 houses, or 7, 8 houses. Mars is 8 houses from your sun. That is always awkward. Okay. But when Mars sits in your 8th house, you get a drive for a kind of greedy drive for pleasure. There is a hold on, mommy's just recording. Okay, 1 second. Are you okay? All right, so hold on, you can come sit over here. My little one wants to sit here for a moment, so be quiet. Okay. So yes, when Mars is sitting in the 12th house making this trine to Venus, your ruler, there is a passionate, aggressive energy that wants to express itself from your roots, like from your Capricorn energy, from your roots, from your 4th house, up and outwards in almost like a grieving way. There is going to be a cutting and a loss, because if it's not balancing your roots, you're not going to be able to create this new creative outpost. And so there has to be a lot of cutting where you share your sunshine. Your 8th house is where we lose energy to other people. So we have to be very careful who we let in there. Mars in your 8th house is asking you to make big cuts, make surgical incisions in how you partner. Okay? All right. So what else? Libra. There is some other big things. The moon is going to be sextiling your sign. Venus, like I said, is in your 4th house, really like making you look at, well, the sun and Pluto are also there. It's really making you look at why you are the way you are and where you got those roots from. You know, how important is your father figures in your life? Why? Because Saturn, your 4th house ruler, is also the ruler of father figures. So you're going to want to look at that as well. Father figures and how you treat men and how men are treated in your life is definitely getting a big examination, no doubt. With Mars moving through your 8th house, there is going to be a trigger of what doesn't feel right, what doesn't, your 8th house is Taurus, so there is this, if it's not at your vibe or in your vibe, you can just walk away from it. Like, you're stubborn. And that's really going to be escalated at this time. Everybody will be looking at you for how you balance things, because you take the hit when it comes to relationships lately. You take the hit in the identity factor. The way that you identify with your partners is the thing that's hurting you the most, because you're only finding people that you see their pain that matches your pain. You're not finding people at a higher level. If you are definitely healing with them, but if you're not doing it consciously, it can be very painful. Libra, you're going to mirror whoever you marry. It's just who you are. That's why you have the house of ego in your 7th house, because that's how you personalize and personify through your partnerships. I can already see myself looking at this later and being like, hey, listen to yourself. Anyways, what else? What other superpower? So there is a subconscious way that you go through organizing and taking matters into your own hands. That's really going to be highlighted and affected by the way that you root yourself in your partnerships and the way that you share them. Well, Libra, The balance in my house is starting to get a little messy because I can hear my kids fighting. So I'm going to go sort that out and really pay attention to Venus this month. She's your ruler and she's going through some stuff and she's really got lessons for you. So it's going to be hard hit at home. You're going to feel a lot of feminine energy around you. And there may be some cuts that you have to make to certain types of, less practical feminine energy. Venus is in Capricorn, so it's time to boss up. I love you, Libra. Remember, all of this stuff in Aquarius is trining you. It's here to bring you creativity. It's here to, whatever's not balanced is what you can utilize through creativity. And it's where you need to focus. Your children, my children. All right. Love you, Libra. Bye.